What's going on today? Yeah. So I guess some people not going to the page and seeing the example. So I say, let's get on live and look at a few. Let's just see what we're looking at on the credit report. Let's spot these errors and show y'all just an idea of the things that you're looking for on the credit report and how easy it is to spot these errors on the credit report. Let me show you some opportunity. Look at this right here. Now you looking at this and you like, dang, what do I see? You see dashes already. Boom, boom. Stuff is missing. We say, all right, we ain't got there yet. So this is the first thing you do. I always like to start with the date open. You see right here, it say date open 2/18/2020. So now when you get that, now you go over to the payment history. If it say it was open in February of 2020, so we go to the payment history, it's nothing there. It's nothing there for March. It's nothing there for April. It's nothing there for May. This is what we call incomplete. It's missing. That it should be something they're reporting because you see open date was, let me pull it back a little bit. Date open, February 2020. So this is your first, you want to ask them, and this is how you would write in your letter in detail. You would say, you say the account was open February of 2020, but in the payment history, there's no data reporting for February, March, April, and May. Please provide that data, fix or delete it. That's how you say on that error you find. So look, we go up a little more. You see this? ND. That should not be there. That stands for no data. You see right here what it's telling you ND stand for? No data. That's no bueno. They need to fix that or delete the account. So here's your second one. You saying, hey, look, for April 2021, there's no data reporting. What was the data? Please fix or delete the account. Same thing. Look, no data. That's not good. No data. So these are errors. With that being missing, that's incomplete. With that being no data, that's called inaccurate. So what we've spotted is incompletes and inaccuracies per the FCRA. And if you look, this is your real credit report from annual credit report. So we're not using a third party monitor. And then let's just go down a little more, see if we can find some more stuff. Look at another account to give you more idea. So you see those, that's how we would do that. So now let's just look at this account. Oh my God, all of this space and data missing. So Santander, they said this is a car loan usually. So it says right here, what do we start with? The date open. September 2020. All right, keep that in mind. But before we even go there, we see blanks. Why wouldn't the balance be there? They're saying this is a balance, right? A balance should be there. So you know what you just found? Incomplete. That's what you write in your letter for this account. Balance updated. Why is nothing there? What was the monthly payment? What was the recent payment? What was the highest balance? You're asking them all of these questions in a letter. This is how you're going to do in detail in a letter. So remember, the first thing is getting a real credit report. And then the second thing is spotting the errors like you showing me. These things should be there. You need to be asking them these questions like, hey, where's this data? Please fix or delete this account. And remember, you saying that after you spot every error, tell them to fix it or delete it. So let's go down. We said the date was open September. Where we at? September of 2020. So we go down here. All right. Finally, they did something right. September 2020 is there. So now we going over. We looking. Now we just reading. Now this is funny. Let's get funny with them. You see how reading is fundamental? This says 60 days past due as of September 2020. September 2022. So now we come down here. And we look for 2022, September. We look and see if it's 60 days late reporting there. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. We got payment history here. Let's see. We looking at the balance. Tell me if you see something that's funny. In April, they paid on 4/19. Okay, that's good. In May, it still says that they paid on 4/19. How can that be? And it's $0. Okay, cool. All right. So the next month is June. We see June 28th. Got a payment there. Boom. All right. So now we got June 28th here. We got June 28th here. we got June 28 here. That's interesting, isn't it? Now we got more errors that you finding on the regular credit report. And when you write your letter, you want to be detailed in saying exactly that. Say the month, say what's missing, and go into detail. So these are just ways that you really dispute and how you back them in a corner, because let's get it. Yeah. When you dispute like that and you showing those errors, and if you want to, you can send a copy of this credit report to them when you circling all of those errors so they can see, hey, I got this from your own credit report. When you're doing that, that's what we call clear evidence. So now, if they don't fix that, which we know they're not, they have to delete it. But when they don't delete it, when you go to file your lawsuit, now that's the evidence that the lawyers or whoever is going to go see that you've been disputing that way. And that's why what makes them want to have that settlement conversation. That's how you that's how you start that settlement conversation with them, showing them those errors like that. So I just wanted to give y'all a brief tutorial on the little things you do. And then, of course, next is, how does our letter supposed to look? Because remember, it's no magic letter. All you doing is saying per each account what's wrong with the account. And then also understanding what's supposed to be reporting. So remember, if it's a collection, regular account, charge off, or any of those things, remember they still have to report something every month. It just can't be sitting on your credit report, because you see a lot of times it's on there, but then it might say last time it was updated or was maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. If that's a collection, that's considered debt parking because they got to report every month. So remembering the little things that's supposed to be happening on your credit report, not little things. They're the things that help tell the story of a credit report, because someone's supposed to be able to look on your credit report and see exactly what's going on. With things missing like this, it's hard to paint a clear picture, and that's a violation of the FCRA. That's incomplete. That's inaccurate. So I just wanted to give y'all that brief tutorial of what you actually do, what you're actually looking for on the real credit report. So when you're going through your dispute process, you can feel confident to say, all right, let them play with me. Let them ignore me. Let them send a stall tactic letter. Let them do all of that. I'm going to go through my first dispute process, my second dispute process. And if I have to do a third, that's the last one I'm going to do. I'm not going to play with them no more, because the first dispute process, that's you sending in the letter. You can send a copy of that or not. It depends on how long your letter is. If you got a long letter with multiple accounts, you don't, or I would recommend you don't have to send in a copy of the credit report with it, because it's a lot of documents. Then they want to have an excuse. Although it does not matter how many document pages you send them in, because they're supposed to look at every page. So don't worry about it being too long if you want to include both. And then that's the first dispute. Send in the letter, make sure it's certified. And then you can also do a CFPB complaint with it, just to have Big Brother looking down. But remember, you want to have that mail proof. So put it in the mail, do your CFPB complaint with it. Boom, that's your first dispute. You're waiting now to get your response. And remember, dispute results do not rely on the investigation dispute results that the credit bureau sends you. You need a new pull of your credit report to look back on your credit report, because one thing you are going to notice, and I want you to pay attention to this, the investigation results are actually going to be different than the credit report. They just play with you. So don't rely on the dispute results, what they send you, because a lot of times you'll see they'll just send you the count, but then all of the payment history and all of that other little stuff is missing. So, and then whatever they're supposed to fix, you're not going to see that. So make sure you pull in the real credit report to look at it. Don't go off the dispute results. So after you pull in that credit report, and then there's another thing too to keep in mind. If you send in a dispute and they ignore you, wait the time. Like we just had one. They were sending a dispute and we tracked it and found out it was still stuck in transit. In case management phase, basically found out the credit reporting agencies weren't even sending the information to the creditors. That's perfect. I hope you found that out during a dispute process or while you were suing them, because that's a violation. They're supposed to share your dispute with the creditor. So if you found that out, that's clear evidence that they didn't dispute right. So that definitely should help you win your case. That should be an easy one, however you unclose that information. So great job, Tommy. And then the second thing is, after you pulled your credit reports again to see about the errors that they either fix or delete, then now you can do your dispute over the phone, or you can do it in the mail. A lot of times in the mail, that's a great, because we got that track record, everything, but over the phone, some people, if it's a female doing for a client, you know that may be hard for a male. So you can do it over the phone and make sure you're recording this call, because they would say some crazy stuff and you would only want to make sure you got that on recording. So if you do it over the phone, make sure it's a recorded call, and all you're doing is pulling back up your credit report of the items that they did not correct or delete, and you're going to dispute that way. Don't let them select a box where they say, oh, it's not mine, wrong address. You know how they have all those different boxes to check that's just generic? No, you want to tell them you want to dispute it, and you're going to read everything that's in the letter, item by item, with each account. So tell them it might take a minute, but hey, this is how you need to do your dispute. And you want to do it this way because they don't want you to do it that way, because it's more detail that calls them out on the BS that they're doing. So now, recorded call, making sure you basically got your letter right there, and you in the accounts in the credit report, and you read into them every detail. And you always want to say after every error, fix or delete the whole account. Fix, delete the whole account. You don't have payment history showing for April of 2024. Fix or delete the whole account. So now once you do your dispute over the phone, you got that recorded. That's your second dispute. You waiting on the results. Those accounts not deleted, because now they have the obligation to delete the accounts once they don't fix them the first time. So now it's really the conversation about deletion. You don't even get a chance to fix it anymore, because if you look up what it says in, I believe, 1681I, don't quote me on the number, it's either 5. I want to say it's 5. It says, it'll tell you that. If they don't fix it, then it must be deleted. So now they're under deletion status when they don't fix it. So that when you get it the second time after your phone dispute, or if you decide to send it in the mail, and then remember, you can also tell CFPB that, hey, look, I disputed this way. This is what I disputed. They didn't fix or delete these items. So now I'm doing a second dispute to give them an opportunity. They don't do that, then now your third dispute, you can either go straight to suing, or that third dispute, you can just send your intent to sue letter. Hey, look, I intend to sue because of these violations, because you didn't fix. Basically, you could just be simple. I'm intending to sue. You didn't fix the items or delete it. Basically, simple letter, intent to sue. Because intent to sue, a lot of times, they will see that and then remove their accounts. And that's just if someone says, you know what, I don't want to wait the process of having to go and file a court and wait on that response and all that stuff. They say, all right, let me see if this last dispute will work. So that's your third and final dispute if you choose to take that route. And then, like I say, now it's sue time. You got the evidence against them good. You go in to sue. And then here's the thing. A lot of times people want to rush to federal court, but you don't want to rush to federal court because they got this thing called standing. And that means it's your responsibility to prove your case. You don't want the burden of proof to be on you. You want the burden of proof to be on them. So that's why we sue them in a lower court. And then if they choose to raise it to federal court, then the burden of proof is on them. But the beauty is, if things don't get handled in the federal court, it gets kicked back down to the lower court. So, but if you go into federal court and don't make it happen, it just goes away. So now you applying a strategy to make it actually in federal court costs more than the sue in the lower court. So, and then it's more paperwork as well. So you would be doing less paperwork, paying less money, and suing them in a smaller court. And now you have that settlement conversation with them, because it's just much easier that way. There's no reason to fight you when you've done it this way. So that's where it's really just about, hey, look, how much do you want and what accounts you need removed so we don't got to go to court. So basically, that's your build up from A to Z. I showed you how to spot the errors on the credit report. We talked about how to write the letter. We talked about the steps that you take when you're disputing. And we talked about what to do in those scenarios. And then also, too, stall tactic letters and if they ignore you. If they send you a stall tactic letter, you always want to call them and let them know it was you. And remember, when you call them, always make sure you're recording it. You want to let them know it was you. And you want to ask them you want to get the representative name, whatever identifying information you can get from that representative that's taking your call, you want to get that. And now what you want to do, you want to go back and dispute, and you want to put that person's name in there, their identification number, and you want to timestamp when you talk to them and how long you talk to them. So now what you got in your second dispute after the stall tactic letter is yes, of course, I'm going to put it on my page. Yeah. So now what you have in the stall tactic letter, you got proof of who you talked to, when you talked to them, that you were, so it's easier to track it. So if they try to send you, because I just had somebody tell me that they was trying to do it for a client, they got a stall tactic letter 3 times. No. When we get this proof right here, that saying, okay, this was me. And then also you can do it through the CFPB too, saying, hey, look, I talked to such, this was me, because that communication with the CFPB, that's like someone else watching over, so they can't just tell you the regular BS that they try to tell you. They can't send you a stall tactic letter through the CFPB, and sometimes they'll try to close it. Remember, I always say, just reopen the case like it didn't happen, because that's just a stall if they say that something happened. So closing it does not stop you. All you do is just reopen that case like it didn't even happen. And so that's what you do with the stall tactic letter. They send you that. Make sure you calling them and time stamping when you talk to them, and get the representative information as much as you can so you can pinpoint that you actually talk to someone. So there's no reason for them to send you a stall tactic letter again. That's what you do with that. And if you ignoring is actually a violation. So if you call them and you ask them, did they get your letter? And then they tell you, oh, no, we didn't do anything. I say you always want to get stuff like that recorded, because we just had a scenario where it was one of my mentees, and he was telling me that he called them. They were saying that they didn't know where it's at. They didn't get it. But when he got the tracking number and gave him the tracking number, for some reason, they was able to find it. So that's why that's important too. Making sure you're keeping those tracking numbers, keeping a good record, because sometimes you will have to call them out and they'll just act like nothing happened. And if they're able to find it, you tell them, go ahead, I want to do my dispute over the phone. You see what the letter says, follow the letter's instructions. And then I got to get up out of here. I got to make this run. But the next thing is also too, you can sue the furnisher and the credit bureau if you're disputing through the credit bureau. That's how you bring the furnisher in, because the credit bureau is supposed to share your letter with the furnisher when you dispute, and it's the furnisher that's supposed to fix it, but then it's the credit bureau's job that's to make sure they fix it. So that's why you can sue the credit bureaus, because it's like, all right, your job is to make sure you got procedures in place to make sure this information don't get messed up. You can sue the furnisher because the credit bureau is supposed to share with the furnisher and they're supposed to fix it with the furnisher, but it's both of their job. But you can't pull the furnisher in unless you are suing or disputing through the credit bureaus. So that's something to keep in mind. If you go straight after the furnisher, you're not going to be able to sue them directly, because you have to go through the credit bureaus. So yes, I'm going to put this live on my page. I hope these steps help y'all, and let's get to work. Let's get them errors off their credit report, or make them pay us and get them errors gone. Peace.